Is no contact a mistake? Is using the no contact rule a mistake if you want to get back together with your ex? Some people are saying this, and I'm going to answer that in this video. Sometimes, in order to get attention, to get clicks on a video or an ad, people will say things that are the opposite of what most people understand to be true. They will say the exact opposite so that you stop and you look and hopefully you'll click. And that's what's going on a lot of times when people will try to say the no contact rule is a mistake. You're just wasting time. It won't work. I'm going to address that because, first of all, some of the people who criticize me, for example, for saying that will say that that's not the only thing and that if you just do that, that it won't work. That no contact does not magically make the relationship better when there was a problem with it before. I've never said that, and I will never say that. Getting back together with your ex is a process, and there are multiple steps to it. No contact, as I talk about it a lot, is the first step. It's simply giving them the breakup. It's a mature response. It's to give you your best chance of your ex actually wanting to work on things. And that's the issue. That's the main thing here, is that your ex does not want to work on this. And that's the cold, hard truth. If they broke up with you, they are saying, I'm done working on this. In their mind, maybe they have. A lot of times, people in your shoes will think, well, they didn't even try. They didn't work on this. Why don't we at least give it a chance? And that's very frustrating. But your ex does not want to work on it. And so for these people who will say, don't use no contact, that's the lazy way out. That won't work. That is just wasting time. Well, it would be if your ex was interested in working on it. And if they are, then by all means, there are other things you need to be doing. If your ex is talking to you about the relationship and they're saying, let's work on this, let's talk this through, that is a different situation. And I think most people who watch my videos understand that. That what I'm talking about is when your ex does not want to be in a relationship with you, they don't want to discuss it, they don't want to work on it, they just want to break up. That's a difficult place to be in. And that's what most of you are in. And in that situation, reaching out, trying to get your ex to work on it, telling them how much you care about them, showing up, calling, texting, those things only frustrate them, pester them, and push them further away. And please tell me about that in the comments, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I have heard so many stories where people will tell me that they didn't listen to me, that they kind of thought maybe I was exaggerating how effective no contact is, or that it just became too difficult and they reached out. And they regretted it. Their ex sometimes got mad. Like, why are you still trying? Why are you still reaching out? Why are you still contacting me, wanting to work on this when I'm telling you I don't want to do that? It's not attractive to try to force someone to do something they don't want to do. It's ridiculous, in fact. And if people knew how bad it made them look to chase and beg and push and contact someone who has said, I'm not interested in this or in you, if you knew how bad that made you look, you would know what I know and you wouldn't do this, because I've gotten to see it so many times where people break down and they reach out. But no contact is not what fixes the relationship most of the time. It's what gets the other person to the table to actually start working on this and getting the relationship to a point where it can be healthy again, where you two can get back together and move forward and grow and enjoy life together. That's the goal. No contact is just the first step. And so sure, if you hear Coach Lee says use no contact and you want to start an opposing YouTube channel and you want to get some attention, you're going to say that that's ridiculous and that's a mistake because nothing gets done when you don't talk about it. Well, duh. But if the other person doesn't want to talk about it and they have no motivation to work on it, you are actually wasting your time by trying to talk to them because you're being a nuisance and you're annoying them. And I hate to say that because you don't want to hear that. You want to hear that they love hearing from you. But in the moment, they don't. And that word is key, moment. No contact is about timing. And I'm going to get into that in the next point. But just know that this idea that no contact is a mistake because you're not doing anything to grow the relationship and strengthen the relationship, that's what's called a straw man argument. I'm going to tell you really quickly what that is. A straw man is made out of hay. He's easy to tear down because he's not a real man. And so when you make a straw man argument, you are making an argument that's not real. You're acting as though this other person, this opponent, is making this argument, and you tell what the argument is, and it's stupid. So you tear it down very easily and you act like you've just beaten him when you haven't. And so it's a straw man argument to say that Coach Lee just says, do no contact and everything will magically get better. What's interesting about that is that a lot of the time, no contact is all that it takes. Not every time, but somewhere around 50% of the time, no contact is enough to get the two people back to where they're talking, and they just naturally do the things they need to do, and the relationship improves because really they're working on it without really knowing it. It's because they have been pulled back to each other, they've missed each other, the other person has seen the value of the person who did no contact, and now things are going well. But a lot of the time, about half of the time, there's work that needs to be done once the other person comes back to the table to talk about this, to see if there's a possibility that this could work out. Then work needs to be done. And I have said that for as long as I've been putting videos on YouTube. So it's a straw man argument to say that I say that all you have to do is no contact and everything will be fixed. I don't say that. Before I get to point number 2, take a quick second and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I have more videos like this. Number 2, as I teased in the previous point, number 2 is that no contact is about timing. And what I mean by that is that at the moment, your ex is not ready to work on this, to discuss this, to be around you, or to be impacted by how much you care. It doesn't matter to them how much you love them or how much you care right now. When they break up with you, that's not the issue. The issue is what they feel for you. And the hard truth of that is that attraction has fallen. And it's fallen for potentially many different reasons. It can be that the relationship got boring. It can be that physical attraction fell. It can be that intellectual attraction fell. And all of these things impact emotional attraction. Either way, attraction's not there, or else your ex would want to be around you, because that's what attraction is. Attraction is pulling the other person towards you, where they are motivated and it comes from within them to be with you. And so they come to you without you having to beg or plead. They are attracted to you. And so at the moment, attraction is not there in the way that it needs to be to motivate them to work on it. It's sort of like if I offer you something very small to do hours and hours worth of work. If I say, here, you can have this piece of candy if you go work 10 hours out in my garden, you're probably going to say, gee, thanks. Wow. Hey, I'm pretty busy. And so I'm not going to be able to do that. You don't want to. It's not worth it. The reward is not worth the work to you. And that's the situation you were in with your ex. The relationship with you is not seen as a reward worth working for. So that's why when you say, let's work on this, it's falling on deaf ears because they don't think it's worth it. Well, I'll do all this work and what? I'll just get the relationship with you. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. It's difficult to hear. I hate saying it, but it's the truth. And so no contact is not a mistake. No contact is your only hope when they are in this situation. You have got to back away from them because they are devaluing you, assuming that you could easily be gotten back, that you are lower value than them, and that you are not as attractive as they used to think that you were. And so you have got to back away and give them the breakup as your first demonstration of strength, as your first demonstration of class and attractiveness, that you will not force yourself, that you will not overstay your welcome, that you will not stay where you're not wanted, and that you will not try to make something happen when the other person is wanting to go the other direction. Why? Because you don't have to. Because you have options. Because you believe in yourself more than that, and you know you are worth more than that. And so that's the first thing you have to do. Give them the breakup and not contact them. And the reason for that is because it's about timing. And the timing is miserable at the moment for you to pitch working on it or that you'll change. They don't care at the moment. That's how it is. And that's why no contact, rather than being a mistake, is your only hope in this situation. Take a quick second and get some information on my emergency breakup kit because I talk about this stuff in that kit. And it's at myexbackcoach.com. The link is in the description below. And it's a powerful guide to help you get your ex back based on the principles that I teach and that I have observed for 20 years of helping people get back together. Number 3, the reason that no contact is not a mistake is because it also helps you in the future. Let's assume that this other person does come to their senses and they see that you're strong, that you could stay away, and they begin to reflect on things and they see that you have given them the breakup, you're not trying to force yourself, and the dust settles, and they realize maybe they were too hasty. And they start to move towards you slowly, and they want to talk about it. They're considering it. They want to be around you. They pitch having coffee or something, and things are going well, and you two start discussing some of the things that happened that caused the breakup. And that's something you don't do at the initial meeting, but as you two start to interact again on a more frequent basis, that's when you do that, and you work toward the future together, and things seem to be going well. Well, what if you had begged and pestered and pleaded, and you had shown up to where they work, and you would not take no for an answer, and you kept texting, and they blocked you, and you created another phone number, and you called and you texted from that, and you tried to send messages to them through their friends, and you just wouldn't stop, and it was day after day, and you were relentless in your pestering of this person. And now, what have you taught them? What do they know about you now that has happened? They know that if they do leave, that if it was a mistake, you'll be right there by their side in case they realize that. And so you will do all the work here, and they will do nothing except tear it down. You teach them that if they break up with you, you will bridge that gap. You will fix what they broke. You will make it easy on them. And so they don't feel like that they could be pushing you away or hurting their chances with you in the future, if they wanted a future with you at some point, by breaking up with you. They have no consequences of that. They see no consequences because you'll just be like a little puppy dog running along beside them asking for another chance. And that's sad. That's not a situation you want to be in. Your job is to attract. Man, woman, your job is to attract the other person, not to chase them down, not to try to do favors and score points with them. Your job is to attract if you want to be with them. And by pestering, pushing, begging, you're teaching them that in the future, that's what you'll do. And so they can break up with you and not have any negatives. In fact, they'll get an ego stroke by feeling like, look at how attractive and sexy and valuable I am. This person can't stay away even after I've embarrassed them, after I've hurt them, and I've broken off the relationship. They're just right here. They just keep coming. They won't leave me alone. And so if I do this again, they'll be right there in case I change my mind or in case I want a little ego stroke. So by giving them the breakup and just not contacting them, because that's what happens when people break up. They're not in a relationship or the life of the other person. And they don't talk every day. They don't talk. That's what happens, especially if they see another person in their future, because that other person's certainly not going to like them having a friendship with their ex or talking with their ex. And so it's not realistic to think you can just kind of continue with part of the relationship or a friendship. And I get into that in other videos. The bottom line is no contact teaches your partner that breaking up with you could hurt their chances with you in the future, that they couldn't just get you back. So they really need to be sure before they break up with you. And they certainly can't use to try to punish you, to try to show you because they think you're not pulling your weight or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And they'll just break up with you and you'll come running back and they will graciously give you another chance. They won't be doing any of that nonsense because you showed them, you break up with me and I'm going to let you have it. Learn more about your ex's feelings during no contact, and if no contact is effective, if those feelings are not strong for you and if they're very low. In this video that's here on the end screen, you can just click on it and watch the next video where I elaborate on this one. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.